How we doing, boys?
Another day,
Pretty
baby.
good.
Another day.
Welcome to show 27.
2-7.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Like, share, subscribe, help us spread the show, spread the message, all that fun stuff. We've got a new sponsor for today. We're going to welcome Habits, Glass, and Goodies to the show. Jason's going to be here joining us today.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We've also got Austin Anderson, a local comedian, a Todd and Tyler contributor, and an amazing photo and videographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that. I didn't know.
No, it's man, you got to check out his Facebook page.
Nice.
He's got some good stuff.
See, Austin and I was talking about toes and OnlyFans, man. There we go. Boom. Just get
Yeah,
it going.
dude. I got you. Let's get that
we were talking about making money, and I said, shit, I'm tempted to paint my toes and go on OnlyFans. Shit.
going. Yeah, I'll paint them for you.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. I think that we
Little
got.
detail, little bedazzle.
I know I got ugly feet.
We can make some money.
That's right. I hate feet, man. I fucking hate them. I hate them. The first thing I tell a woman, if I make it past the second date, I hate feet. Don't ever show me your feet. I hate them. I fucking hate them.
Yeah, I'm not big on feet either. Rich.
What about stubs? Do you like stubs?
Stubs?
Would you rather have
Sad.
like two stubs?
No, man. No.
They're smooth though. Can I get a little bit of volume in my headphones?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. There you
All
go.
right.
A little better for you.
Yeah. Even go up.
All right.
It is a little low.
There you go.
Yeah,
You feel
there we
better
go.
there?
I'm feeling. It feels good.
All right. Good. That's what we want. We
It's
want
probably-
Like you said, it's nice and
It's
smooth.
probably always been low. I just can't hear anyway, so I just thought it was my ears.
no, it is.
Selective hearing.
But so what got you into comedy?
Dude, I don't even. I mean, the answer to that is just. I just did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just were the funny guy around your friends and stuff.
Yeah. I was always. I got class clown and all that. Like freshman year, I wanted to be a stand up. Once my buddy he called me up and he was like, "Hey, dude." This is like ninth grade. He's like, there's this fat guy on HBO who yells like you because I just have like a loud voice, you know? And I was a chubby kid then, too, so it's probably referring to my girth. And,
Oh, shit.
and I'm like, all right. And it was Sam Kinison. And we went down to, because Blockbuster was around. He lived by Blockbuster in Millard. And we went down there and just rented all of his tapes. Watched them all, and I was like, there is something that you can do where there are no rules. Of course, later on, I found out there's so many unspoken rules. And it is a complete sham. But so that's when I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. And then the first time I did stand-up was at our senior banquet.
Okay.
Okay.
So I won class clown and then did stand-up, and then I started driving down. There weren't like back then. There was nowhere to get up. You know, there was no social media. There was no. I mean, barely like the internet.
Like
you know what I mean? It
no
was
frills
pretty much
parking
like
lot.
dial up and all that. So
They call that the good old days.
yeah, there was an open mic at this club called Stanford and Sons in Kansas City on Monday nights, and I would borrow my mom's van, and like some of my buddies would hop in, and we'd drive down there. And then I'd wait around just to do like 3.5 minutes. But dude, I'm like 17, you know,
Yeah.
and I roll into the club and then they're like, all right, the comics are over there. You want a beer? And I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. And I'm like, being a stand-up comic is awesome. So, I mean, the short, like, it was just something that I've always felt compelled to do.
Well, I
It's an
graduated.
obsession.
I graduated
A curse.
Millard South 2000.
Yeah.
And I heard a ton about you. I never met you, or at least that I recall. But I always heard the stories of your antics, and you were a legend.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with that. Like, look, just because looking back, I did a lot of, I did a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah. And Nick's talked
I had a lot
about
of fun.
the car alarm in the suitcase bit. And
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about Natterman, and I think heard you talking about that at the show for the Millard South benefit a couple weeks ago. But
Yeah.
dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
dude.
But, well, dude, my uncle gave me we used to put pranks on each other at Christmas time, mainly him on me. And he was a car mechanic, and he put a car alarm in like this black plastic briefcase, and it was bolted shut. And then so when I opened the gift, like the box, there was a string that was taped to it, and just like a hole inside the plastic briefcase that pulled a light switch that set off the alarm. So it was like, wah, 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 wah. You know, I throw it or whatever, and then there's like a gift card inside, and then he's like, he goes, you can just have that, and I'm like, all right. So I had it for a while, and I mean, the real reason why I did it, I was like, I'm gonna see, like I did like a lot of crazy shit, like in a fun way, you know, like I put blood capsules in my mouth in gym class and then pretended to fall when running sprints, and then the gym teacher like came and grabbed my shoulder. I turned around, just spit blood everywhere. And then she's like, you got to get to the nurse, you know. And then the nurse is like, I don't see any cuts. I'm like, well, when I hit the ground, my teeth pushed back and then blood shot out. But then at that time, the fake blood was turning pink. So the gym teacher came in and she's like, that's not real blood, is it? And I'm like, no. So
you wrote it out. You wrote the whole joke out.
Oh yeah, dude. I wrote that out, man. You know, and I got banned from student council because I made a bunch of posters. Like some of them were like, one I can remember, it was I moan in the shower and I don't use herbal essence, because that was like a big commercial at the time. Vote for Austin. I put posters in all the women, like girls' bathrooms that said, "Don't be alarmed, I'm the one watching you through your window at night."
No.
Like, vote for Austin. So they ripped down all my posters, and there's just like a stack of them on Mr. Natterman's office. He's going through them. He's like, "You're banned. Like, you're not even allowed to run." So, I was just constantly just fucking around, and I put the car alarm in there because I was like, I wonder if I could get suspended. I had so many in schools. It's so insane to say that I was like, my main purpose was I just wanted a few days off.
Rumor had it that they had to hire a security guard for like the last week of school for you.
The last day.
Oh, was it the last day?
Yeah. So it was probably because of the car alarm. So during 6th hour, I went up to my locker and I just pulled the string, and it's like, wheel, 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 wheel. It was only like a year after Columbine. So they thought it was a bomb.
That's not.
And they took it out one of the exit on the east side, you know, and like closed it off. And then they found out it was my locker, so they called off the bomb squad. And they walked it through the whole building, dude, from one end to the other, as it was like, wow, 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 And
they didn't know it was you yet?
No, when they walked it through the building, they knew it was me. They called the room, and they're, you know, like how they would call on the phone and be like, hey, send such and such in. So they called, and I went in there, and it's just going off, dude. It's like, wow, wow, in Mr. Natterman's office. It's so loud. And he just goes, he's like, shut this fucking thing off. Like, and I'm like, do you have a screwdriver? Because it was bolted shut. I unscrewed it. We got it shut off. And then, I don't know what, like maybe defense mechanism. But I'm like, listen, he's like, why would you ever do this? I'm like, people have been breaking into my locker. And I'm like, you guys haven't done anything about it, so I had to take matters into my own hands.
Yeah, exactly.
And he goes, all right, I know you didn't do this to be funny. And he gave it back to me, and I went to 7th hour. So then, like, leading up to, like, because that was a good prank.
Yeah.
You know? And
Great.
so, like, I'm sure, and that was, like, a few months before the last day of school. So I'm sure that they were like scared.
Yeah, this dude's going to bring a grease pig to school or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, I get to school on the last day, and it was around 3rd hour. I knew all the security guards because I used to screw with them. Like, because they always ask you for your hall pass.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times I'd have a hall pass. I'd pretend like I was looking for it, and then I would just start running as fast as I could. And I'd make them chase me. Like, even like when it was under construction and they had the portable buildings outside. Yep. So I'd be like running outside and all this. And these are like, middle-aged women that don't exercise. They're so pissed. And then I get to class, and then this one time, she bust into that portable building, and she was like, why did you run? Where is it? I'm like, oh, this? I'm like, here you go, and I give it to her. So I knew all the security guards, and I've never saw this guy before. And then 3rd hour, I went to the restroom, and he was standing out my door, and I'm like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Because I noticed that he'd been around me all day, and he's like, I've never seen you before. And he goes, they hired me for today. And I'm like, why? And they're like, to follow you. So they followed me. He followed me to every one of my classes. And then at the end of the day, when school was over, he escorted me out of the building. And then I realized that I had forgot like a binder or something. I set it down when I was just getting all my stuff out of my locker. So I came back in to go grab it, and he gets on the walkie-talkie, and he's like, he's back in. He's back in. I swear to God, dude. And I'm like, I just need my binder.
Code red. Code red.
Oh, shit.
For sure.
And this is at
See,
Millard South?
yeah, Millard South.
What
So
year-
I got to
what year
ask
is
this. I graduated in 01.
Oh, yeah.
So you were 2000.
Yep.
So then and since we didn't know each other, and you were a year older, I got to like, what did you hear?
I mean, I had heard about the briefcase deal.
Yeah.
I had friends that were freshmen when I was a senior, so it was I had kind of got just that you were a prank guy. Like you would do the funny yelling in class and just acting a fool.
Yeah, that was from Sam. Yeah, Sam Kinison. I mean, I started because his thing was like, ow.
Right.
So I would just walk through the halls doing that.
Well, dude, it can be entertaining. My wife does that. Not necessarily yelling in the halls, but she'll
Just yells to herself.
yell some funny shit at just random people, and
Yeah,
it's entertaining.
yeah,
It's entertaining for sure.
yeah, dude. So I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out of school. Like I had to go to night school to graduate.
Make
Take
up
some
a couple
math.
classes.
Yeah, just math.
They had night
Just
school.
hated math. I failed French.
yeah.
French 1 3 times. I should have never taken French.
Yeah.
Should have never taken
I had
it.
to take 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
But but I got out, so I wasn't allowed to do a prank. So what I did, I wore an eye patch at the diploma ceremony.
Okay.
And Dr. Sam came up to me. She's like, "You can't wear that." I'm like, I had like a little brother and sister, and I'm like, my brother poked me in the eye with one of his action figures, and I lifted up the eye patch, and I went like this, just like twitched my eye, and she's like, "Okay, whatever."
Oh,
So I
shit.
still have like the videos on my Instagram. Like if you scroll down, it's just me accepting, from whoever the mayor is now. The woman, is she's still the
Stothard?
mayor? Yeah. She at the time, for whatever reason, she was handing out the diplomas, so she's giving it to me. I just look like a pirate.
She's just grrr.
And then once I got my diploma, and then it was over, underneath the Civic Center, I just took it off, and I could see Dr. Sam just staring
Just
at
looking
me
at you like he
from
fucking
across
did
the
it again.
building like that. You son of
That's
a bitch.
great.
So what do you think attracted you to comedy?
Well, it was, I guess maybe like the rebellion aspect of it. It was probably like a few things. I love to make people laugh. I thought and still do think that so much of the world is absolutely absurd that I just wanted to make fun of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are the real things. And then at the time, I loved to party.
Nice.
And you were getting beers at 17. in the
Right,
clubs.
right.
Yeah. But I was just, and then once I started doing it, then it just became an obsession of how to do it. Like, how does this work?
Right.
I experimented with everything early on. Like I would do. I mean, when I went to Kansas City once, I wore a suit, had my friends wear suits, pretend like they were my Secret Service, and stand on each side of me as I told jokes. Like, I would dress up as different characters. Like, I just tried everything and anything just for fun, and then also to see, what works and what doesn't.
It was kind of an avenue to allow you to be kind of what you wanted to be in.
Well, that's
The wild
all original
man and-
too, because you're gonna get a whole bunch of attention. People are gonna say, "What the hell is he doing?" But you're gonna get a reaction guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
awesome.
suits. Yeah.
So I kind of talked about your photos and videographer.
Yeah.
You've been shooting some concerts and stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I know it's entertaining. I mean, everybody loves to go to a concert, but then with the camera and stuff, you kind of get the a little more access and
Yeah, dude, it's definitely cool, man. I like it. It's a lot of work. It's definitely easier being the performer,
yeah,
especially as opposed to being in a band where you got to show up, do sound checks, do all this. As a stand up, you're just by yourself. You show up. It's just a mic. You walk on the stage. Um, so, uh, in regards to being like the performer, the videographer, I like both, but more perks with being the performer. But I started video editing and doing video just at the same time I started doing stand up in '01. Like that's when in the library or whatever it was, like the media center, they got those clear Macs
yeah,
that came out, and
Yeah.
then it had iMovie on it. So we're
Wow,
like,
that's
oh,
something from
yeah,
the
this is
past.
dope. So then with my graduation money, I bought one of those clear blue iMacs that I still have to this day. So then senior year, instead of like doing papers and stuff, like if they're like, all right, you got to write a paper on this, I was like, can I make a movie instead?
Oh,
And they're like, all right. So we made like 3 movies. Me, Adam Devine, my buddy Adam Welchin, and another good friend of mine, Mike Lehman, who's a hilarious, fantastic actor and everything like that. So yeah, we made one where I get inspired by Forrest Gump
oh shit.
to go running across the country, and then I get hit by two hillbillies run me over and tie me to a tree and put put these like suction cup tubes on my nipples, and they milk me and cover me in ranch, and then I like wake up. It ends up being a nightmare. Like I fell asleep watching
Oh,
Forrest Gump or whatever, but like it was so bizarre and weird. Like one kid got up and left. It was yeah. His name is he's like this is too disturbing. He was always he had his Bible with him all the time. He was a good kid, but
I suppose the ranch pouring was probably the
yeah,
line
it-
for
yeah,
him.
right.
He's a
it,
good
uh,
kid.
it was-
He
it
had
was
his
a little
Bible
too
with
much
him all the
for
time. I mean, clearly that's the thing.
We wouldn't use ranch. We would use odds.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
shit.
what?
Oh fuck.
I missed that. Danny
No,
was
you
talking
didn't.
in the microphone.
You heard what he said.
No, I really did.
Yes, I did. He was talking about hillbillies. That's why I kicked back laughing so hard.
Oh, because you are like
I was just laughing. I was like, you just got the. Most of them would use ranch. I
You
prefer
faded
odds.
in and out. You were like 4 feet from the microphone as you went. I'm like, what do you say?
Yeah,
I just
Danny's
didn't want
from
to die,
Missouri,
dude.
so
I didn't want to die
Yeah.
laughing.
yeah.
I like.
the
Makes
land of the
perfect
free.
sense.
I like Missouri. There's still a lot of places down there you can smoke cigarettes inside.
Really?
Yeah, like dude,
Like a
I was
restaurant?
driving through there, like a gas station.
Or any.
I wasn't there too long ago, and I stopped at a gas station. A guy was sitting at one of the tables, just reading the paper. He had his
Just puffing his
coffee, smoking a cigarette. I'm like, there's freedom here still.
You know,
I don't even. I rarely smoke, but I was like, can I get one? I just sat with this old dude because I wanted to smoke indoors again.
yeah. It is something that can be missed. I definitely would, enjoy a cigarette at a concert sometimes would be nice.
Oh, dude, like you have the cigarettes and people complain. Like, obviously, it smells like shit. You smell terrible, when you leave. But, dude, the atmosphere and the vibe of comedy clubs back in the day when you could
That's
smoke
where
and
it's
they
at.
were smoke-filled rooms and the comics were smoking, it was just it added like another layer of kind of like
Authenticity.
authenticity and
Suffocation.
rebellion, suffocation,
Suffocation.
breathing. And so I kind of miss it in a way, man. I do.
I was at, 4 months ago in a bar in Oklahoma that they were smoking, and I walked in and was like, what the fuck? I was like, we're playing pool here. But yeah, it was just an old lady behind the bar smoking. I was like, you guys can still do this? She's like, yeah, we don't serve food, so
we do whatever we want.
yeah. That's pretty much how it sounded
Want a
too.
scratch ticket?
Yeah. I was like, where can we get food? She's like, there's a bar down the street called the Red Dog. So that's
Red
Nice.
Dog.
yeah. It turned out that was a strip club.
Oh, that's a place to drink, I
Yeah.
guess.
That's their only bar in that town.
Right.
Yeah, man. So we made then 2 other films, like one, and then I think the best one we made, we did one where me and Adam Vine skip school for the day and go on all these adventures and stuff like that. So yeah. So then after that, then I ended up getting like uh, a better Mac, like a Mac Tower and Final Cut Pro. And then when Adam and I moved to California, we had to have a reason. So we told our parents we were going to go to school, which we did for a little bit. And yeah, I took film and video there. So I've been pretty much editing and doing video stuff, since the same time I've been doing stand up.
All self-taught, or did you actually learn? Do something
No,
in
no,
school?
I did learn. I learned the basics in school,
Okay.
and then everything from there was just mainly self-taught. Like I self-taught myself with that, with audio. I was a production director for radio for a while, and made all their commercials, voiceover work, and stuff like that.
So at first, it was a lot of trial and error, just to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was nothing like. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this so I can make my. I just wanted to make my own stuff.
Yeah.
That's I just wanted to make what I wanted.
Didn't
to
want to
make.
have to pay somebody else to do it.
Yeah,
too.
or just like comedy wise, or movies, or skits, or any of that.
Yeah.
Like I just, I wanted the power.
That makes sense.
Can't nobody tell you
Makes
shit
sense.
but yourself.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
so you're
makes
a
sense.
family man,
yeah,
and you have left Omaha. Like
yeah.
What was your encouragement to get out of the city?
Dude, I love the country, man. That was like one of the reasons why I moved back from California. I was like, dude, I cannot live here. Like, you could not escape people.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to go, like, for peace of mind. I just even remember once, like, I went on a walk. I was just like, oh man, I just want, some peace and quiet for a minute, because there was like 5 of us living in an apartment, and I go over to the school that we're at Costa Mesa, and there's like a big field and stuff, and I'm walking through it, and then there's just like a homeless guy screaming at the sky. I don't even know what he was saying. He was just looking up and screaming, and then he looked at me, and we're like probably like 50 yards apart, 20 or less than that, and he's like, "Do you see it? Do you see it?" And I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Like, this is insane. So just that, and then yeah, man, just wanted to be in the country, wanted to be somewhere where there weren't rules. I could have animals, build whatever I want,
Yeah.
Just not constant, just people around, and then
I
and then once the United States collapses, I'll just be in a little bit of a better position.
dude,
He already has a head
you and I
start.
have so much in common. I grew up a creek kid, catching frogs and playing in the water and down in the park all day.
Yeah,
And
dude, that's a country song by Little Big Town.
living here,
Yeah.
I knew that my kids weren't going to have that, and I couldn't imagine trying to raise them here. And you can't go just send them to the park anymore. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, my son just turned 12, and my wife homeschools him. And then just talking to my other friends that have kids, all in the same age. Like, we were just at a party recently, and they're just all bitching about how much like their kids are on video games or their iPad or iPhone, and they can't get them to go outside and play and shit. I'm like, yeah, dude, we don't even. My son's never played video games.
Wow.
None of that. Like, and he is outside every single day. Like, we have pigs, chickens, ducks. He's taking care of them. We have like a little forest area that I built a trail through.
That's
He
cool.
makes a haunted Halloween forest, decorates the whole thing. So, yeah, I can't relate with that because I've removed myself from that situation.
I envy you
Love that.
that your kids have never touched video games, dude.
Yeah.
I was on the road driving a lot, and it kind of led to some neglect at home as far as mom was overrun and I wasn't helping, and she just, guys, play video games. And I had to have a back surgery like just coming up about a year and a half ago, and I was strapped to the couch for 6 weeks and realized what I was missing, like and what they needed. And they're outside all summer, and we haven't been able to cut them out completely without them having meltdowns, but like,
Yeah.
we're gonna ease away from this, guys. I was like,
Yeah.
and if you can't enjoy outside, if you can't find a way to not complain about it, I will wipe games out of this house completely.
Yeah.
Like they are.
Yeah, man. Like I feel like I felt conflicted about it at times because I played video games. Like I remember even like with dial up, in middle school, like Friday or Saturday night, I'd play my buddy in Doom or Duke Nukem 3D or
shit, that's
Warcraft or
old.
So
something.
Wolfenstein.
Fucking, dude, I remember
That's the only one.
Wolfenstein coming out.
Yeah,
Getting
like-
that first computer
It's like an
and
Apple
then
II GS, I think I
Yeah.
played it on or something. I don't even remember.
and,
No,
my,
it was
and
an
my
IBM.
dad's like, "This is Wolfenstein. Enjoy." And I was like, "I will." But dude, there's just a difference because back then we would play video games for a couple hours, but even up to like Sega Genesis or even PlayStation, like eventually, like you couldn't beat those games.
Yeah.
You only got a few like amounts to say. You had like 3 lives. So after a while, you're like, I will never see the end of Double Dragon. Like, fuck this, and you just throw the remote and go outside and play.
The cheat code
But
for
now,
Contra
yeah,
was
but now,
good, though.
yeah.
I still remember that.
Game
fucking
Genie.
Contra?
Yo, fuck
I
yeah,
don't
I still
remember it.
remember it.
But now, like, it's infinite worlds,
Yeah.
infinite lives. Like,
Yeah.
you just get sucked in and you play forever. So it's a whole different thing.
No, I've been really trying to change what we've got going on. I'm like, we moved out there 5 or 6 years ago, lived in our camper for 8-9 months, and then moved into the house. And
Yeah.
I wish I
We
would
did
have been
that.
around more in the beginning and had kind of curbed that sooner, because it has been a challenge getting them out of the games and outside, but
Do it
Yeah.
younger.
this,
Do it younger.
yeah,
Wait,
this-
don't wait till they get older.
we spent
You're
this
right.
weekend at the river and catching fish and did some bow fishing and spent time with friends, and it's just that's where I feel at home, like sitting in the house, and it just gets, let's do something, let's be out.
Yeah, man. Let's be in nature.
This
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even
This
when
time
we
of
moved
year.
out there. We lived in a camper because it was right when COVID hit, just right around that exact time that I got the land. No one would build the house, because they're like, COVID's here. Everyone will be dead in 4 months, so just go to your field and die. And
Go take your-
so
take
we
your
lived
plunge.
we lived in a camper for 617 days while the house was being built. But I had to. I mean, I trenched from where like the well was all the way to like I bought a garage from the Amish where they just drop it off. It's pre-built, you have it ready to drop it off. That's where we put our washer and dryer. So I had to trench from, one corner of the property all the way to the garage to hook up water, then all the way to the camper. And then was lucky enough because it was like a bunch of lots at one time that where I put the camper back in the woods there, like I was walking through there and I found a sewer pipe because there used to be a trailer home there and it had like a barrel around it and sewer pipe. So I was able to trench from the camper to that. And then every time it was full, just pulled the thing. Cause that was what I was worried most about.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to be out here all the time. Just
Hooking and
what am I going to do with all this shit and piss? So very thankful for that. But man, had to trench in for the electricity, and I didn't even have any tools, so I bought a bunch of tools. Started with building a chicken coop, then a duck coop, then a pig house, and kind of just learn all these new skills that I didn't think I was capable of.
I love that, dude. We all, we're losing that as people, the growing our own foods and raising our own animals, and we're becoming just dependent on what Walmart's and
Right.
the government will save us. Like it ain't. No.
Big box stores or whatever.
Yeah, no. I'm and you're just paying $6-7 a pound for hamburger right now, and I can get it from my local butcher at $4 a pound out there. You know what I mean?
$4.
Like $4.10 a pound.
Okay.
You want to send me with some cash? I'll bring you some.
Shit.
Slanging that
So-
beef.
Go to
It's-
Fairway and get
Yeah,
sirloins.
no, and it's like he'll sell you a whole pig processed for $5.50.
Yeah, Stoices used to do that. They used to do it by the pound. It always changed. It was by market, but 20 years ago it was like $2.14 a pound. I don't know if that's what we paid for it or what we sold it for. There's no way we sold it for that, so it was probably $4. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's visiting the local farmers. Their little tents they have set up in the
Yeah.
road. You're getting better vegetables. And
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, man. I feel like we as a country need to get back to taking care of ourselves and not depending on
Yeah,
the stores and, you
for
know,
sure.
Yeah, dude. Hardly anybody will do that.
yeah. No, and I
They
have,
want to. Everybody, like so many people are like, "Oh, you're living the dream. You're living the dream." I'm like, dude, you can do it. It's hard
Very
work,
true.
man.
yeah, it is.
It's like, and there's sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
You gotta drive in. A lot of driving.
What did it take you to drive here today?
It's like 60 miles, so like a little over an hour.
So you're about the same
Yeah.
distance, just the other direction.
Yeah, and I just use that for audiobooks,
Yeah. I,
So
I used to do music, and then I found out it can really affect the way if I'm in a bad mood, I'll get into the music that draws me into a worse mood. And,
right.
so I started
Vicious
getting
cycle.
into talk radio and audiobooks and stuff
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, dude, I've just never. I mean, I like music because I am a human, but I don't like it. I would rather listen to something.
Yeah.
Like I've been on the road before, and like after the 7th day of traveling, driving all over the place, I realized I hadn't listened to music in like 7 days,
Oh, shit.
and I'm like,
Straight audiobook.
yeah, just audio or silence.
Oh,
And then I'm
shit.
like, dear God, I'm like, do I hate music? So I Googled, I'm like, what does it mean if you hate music? And the first fucking response was, you don't have a soul.
Oh, shit. Just what you want to hear.
Yeah, I was
Right,
like, damn, Google,
I gotta make a change.
delight.
How old are your kids?
12, and then my daughter is 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got an older kid. That's
We adopted our niece when she was 7.
all right.
She's 23 now.
Nice.
That's
Married.
Good on you.
Doing well.
Good on you.
Yeah.
That's I got I got a 15-month-old at home, and then I've got 6, 7, or almost 8, and then a 14-year-old.
Okay.
So I've got a pretty good spread, and I'm going to be
You
doing
do.
this for a while.
For a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking the senior citizen pictures at graduation.
They're going to have to wheel your ass in.
So
It's gonna be a big ass wheelchair.
Good thing they make them now.
Get him a gurney
Yeah,
you
with
notice,
wheels. Just-
Yeah, dude, at the hospital, it's like a love seat on wheels and shit. Now. I'm
that's why
like,
I'm
shouldn't you guys be like? I like how the hospitals are like,
Right.
just get the bigger chair instead of just telling people to.
Fuck, you making a recliner. Fuck, you must be going
Yeah,
that's why I'm on fire and rescue. I got the keys to the ambulance. Get my big ass in there. But yeah, man, I don't know, raising the kids. I'm having challenges with my 14-year-old, just like not, up in his room, not talking and all that stuff. And,
right.
the little kids are easy, man. My 7-year-old, he gets upset with himself about stuff. Like yesterday we were at the park, and I was trying to get him to jump over me onto the ground off of this piece of equipment. And his little brother did it before him, so he was upset with himself that he didn't do it. And I'm like, dude, it's just, next time you're in this situation, just, you got to tell yourself, what am I going to really get? You're jumping off of a piece of equipment onto some rubber, like, how bad are you really going to get hurt,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then-
that's a tale that's as old as time. I'm sure that's probably what led up to Cain killing Abel as well. Tired of his brother being able to jump off things.
Well, they're big boys, so I've tried to teach the whole nonviolence, we don't hit and things like that, but we've had a real problem with bullies last year in school, so I had to kind of get on the
Yeah, dude.
self-defense.
I couldn't even imagine not being able to escape your bullies nowadays
Yeah,
because of phones and the internet.
Uh-huh.
It used to be like you could go home and then you're like, all right, I'm safe for a while.
right.
Because I dealt with some bullies and until I, challenged them. Eventually, you just get pushed a little too far. But yeah, now if you go home and then they're just like boom, like popping up. Or I couldn't even imagine like in middle school, if I remember there was one instance. I'm at home Friday night. I call my buddy, because I'm like, want to see if he wants to hang out. Can't get a hold of him. We're calling landlines, but I don't find out till school on Monday that there was like a birthday party, and basically everyone was invited but me.
Oh,
Like all my friends or whatever, and that shit hurts. But now you're at home, you're like, where are my friends? And then you pull up, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and then you get to see in real time all your friends partying.
Yeah,
Without you.
and you're an afterthought.
Yeah. And you got to watch that shit. It would suck.
That, and I've kept my 14-year-old away from social media. The little guys, they're not going to get it at all. The 14-year-old's harder because he lives with his mom. He
Yeah.
lives with his mom here in town,
And she doesn't give a shit.
no, I mean it's. She's kind of on agreement with me that we need to, keep him off that. We've let him do TikTok just to watch the videos, but I'm like, dude, the girls you see on here, the shit ain't real. Like, it's all. He wants it for his football stuff, to post videos and things. He's a big kid, football player. So he goes to Gross here in Catholic school here in town.
Oh yeah.
And he's a great kid. So I mean, I could probably trust him on Facebook. It's the other people I can't trust. That there are so many pedophiles and you just can't trust the internet. You know? How many?
It's a shit show.
It is.
Right.
It is completely. And
I don't even like it. I don't for myself, just being on there, just dealing with people, I'm like, it's so many people that you would never be friends with in real life,
Yeah.
and then, or debating, if you post something and people will just hop on there and say shit. And then, in the infancy of Facebook, I would get into the weeds on some shit. And then you're just looking at your phone all day, waiting to comment back. And then I'm like, dude, I got a life to live, man.
Yeah. I don't argue well. I don't. First of all, I don't punctuate or spell for shit. So
there's AI for that now.
Well, there is now, but
Yeah.
all these years I don't get into Facebook arguments because I'm just going to give you more ammo to throw at me when you get into my punctuation and spelling, and then I'm going to get more.
I love the people you spelled this word wrong. It's but you still know what that word was,
right.
So why don't you just shut up?
Yeah. So I have always avoided the Facebook arguments, and being a big guy, really, I tried to avoid confrontation at all, just because I'm big enough. I hit somebody hard enough and they die, and then I'm gone. So I just have always tried to avoid the conflict, but especially I'll try. I can have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? But on the Facebook, man, people are don't understand that they can still.
Dude, I don't understand. Dude, I don't get how people they post all the shit about their lives. They'll fight with their spouses on Facebook, throwing shade at each other and shit, and then people will comment under it. I'm like,
I was
have you
guilty
guys
of that
lost
shit years ago.
your minds? Half the time I'm thinking, I'm like, do you guys even have jobs? Some of the shit that people are posting. I'm like, we can see this, right?
Right.
You run into them at the grocery store, and they're like, hi, how have you been? What have you been up to?
Right.
And, I got to tell them because I don't post every fucking detail of my life on the web.
Yeah.
But with them, I don't have to ask. They'll start telling me. I'm like, I know what you've been up to.
You just posted something 13 minutes ago.
I try to keep my Facebook more positivity, or out fishing or walking with the kids, or I don't know, man. Maybe it inspires Rich to go walk some more. And that's all. I don't argue. I don't.
Walking's a good thing.
I'm not fighting on
Yeah,
Facebook.
And I just don't. A while ago, I realized that using it to write humorous things or jokes it's just not. Text isn't the best medium for that because everybody reads text
differently.
Yeah,
right.
And you know what I mean?
It's open to interpretation. You figure it out
there's
later.
No emotion behind
you figure
it.
it out.
You can't actually read black and white in a text.
Yeah, dude. There's no tone.
Exactly.
You don't know what kind of tone the person's using. Is it a playful tone? Is it serious? Is it vindictive? You don't know. So it's not.
Oh, now,
it's not worth
especially
it.
nowadays, you can trigger somebody on the most simplest text possible.
I try to send my wife voice messages instead of text sometimes,
just to have some tone, some
connotation to it.
Just so I don't know, so you don't hear me, because it has been a thing. You send a text and they're like,
you just run with it.
Well, fuck you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. What did I say?
What happened?
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes I'll just send a text, be like, this is best to use our voices.
Yeah.
I want to hear your human voice to discuss this.
The inflection in it.
Or just so it just doesn't come across as however they interpret it.
No, I do feel like we have lost touch as people as far as communication, and we need more togetherness and sitting around campfires and
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, more the personal, in the flesh communications, as opposed to the other thing that I hate about it is like there's too many modes of communication. Like I despise the fact that you got to worry about text messages, phone calls, voice messages, messages from LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Like how many how many things?
yeah,
How many fucking things can people? I only want one way.
yeah.
One way for people to reach me.
Makes you really miss a landline, doesn't it?
I miss the landline more than anything, dude.
That
Like
is
if
true.
people want to, I just turned 41, and if people are gonna be like, "Oh, boomer now old," I don't give a shit. Give me the
Right.
time with landlines and
Should
just
give me the one
road
with the
maps.
damn cord attached to it.
Yeah.
Fuck a cordless.
Yeah,
Right.
So let's
it
really
couldn't have
go
been
back.
that bad. They called the moon with it in 1969. It worked pretty well.
Right.
Called them.
What internet? We didn't have internet then.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. The good
My,
old
my internet
red
as a
phone.
kid was my bike. Let's go see if homie's
Sure,
home.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm 55 years old. I'm way older than everybody else in this room.
Yeah.
But that's how we did it. You wanted if you
That's
you
how
called, no
Growing
answer.
up.
Okay, let's go over to the neighborhood and just see if we can find
Yeah,
it.
that's what I loved, man. Yeah, and then in high school, like you couldn't be reached.
Right.
You just be able to tell your parents, "Say I'm going over to such and such house." You weren't. I mean,
Unless
shit,
you had your
yeah.
pager.
Yeah, one time I drove to Kansas City. No one knew.
No,
That's a long haul for nobody to know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it is. Probably, in hindsight, probably wasn't the best thing, but I did a lot of shit like that. But yeah, man, it was just great because you had to check in through there. It wasn't. I mean, for Christmas, my senior year, my parents got me a cell phone. I was like, no. I was like, no, I do not want my girlfriend and you guys calling me all the time. I took it back. I took it back to Nebraska Furniture Mart, and then I got every George Carlin CD.
oh shit.
Instead.
That's what's up.
That's
Yeah, man.
probably the better investment, huh?
Yeah. And I just drive around in my truck through the country and listen to them.
I love that.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good drive out of town.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind living out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's generally a beautiful drive. There's no one around, no traffic, no
Yeah,
stoplights.
you get that time
Yeah,
to get home and relax and unwind instead of
right. So being
Unwinding
like
at
10
home.
minutes away and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Summit Lake's like 3-4 miles from me, and when I'm having a shit day and don't want to take it home, I'll usually stop there and take a few minutes sitting up on the hill looking at the lake, and I don't know, water's soothing to me, which is crazy. It's like one of the few things I'm really scared of, like mass amounts of water, the power of the ocean.
Yeah, I almost died once.
I got pulled into a riptide once, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I not being able to swim the direction I was swimming was very sketch.
Yeah, I got pulled out in the tide as well. I got saved by Baywatch. That was
I'll go get pulled out in the time
that
anyways
was-
then, right?
Talk about embarrassing, man. All right. We're in like Newport Beach. It's summer. There's thousands of people on, at the ocean, on the beach. They're like, riptide's coming through, everybody out. Well, at that point, I was already too far out because we were bodyboarding. That's when, I tried surfing, and that's when, it was like, this will be my end of me. So, and I couldn't get back, so it just kept pulling me further and further out, and they had to come grab a boat. It came up, they pulled me out, then they drove me as close to the shore as they could, and then I hopped out, and then just had to do the walk of shame in front of thousands of people. Just
All eyes on you.
yeah,
huh?
dude, all eyes, man,
You didn't feel like being loud in that moment.
all eyes. I'm like, shit.
weren't ready for that parade, were you?
No.
So we're gonna.
Especially because I wasn't local, I was from Nebraska. Not that they knew that, but
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
that. And then you just have all the California surfer bros who are like basically fish, basically like Kevin Costner in Waterworld.
Oh,
Gills
shit.
and shit, and I was floating away.
Did you have your flowing blonde hair then too, or were you?
No, dude, this is new. I did have longer hair back then. This is the longest I've ever had it, and I didn't. I kind of was just growing it out for fun because I was getting older, and then I was like one last hurrah, and then I was like, shit, I really like my hair long. I should have had this my whole life, and so now it's just here to stay.
I got like this patch of baldness right here.
Yeah, but dude, you should grow it out, man.
You think
Like
so?
It is grown out, I think.
yeah, like grow it out as long as me. Like if I went bald on top, even just a little bit or the whole thing, I'm fucking skull it all all the way. I've already made that commitment to myself.
Oh, so you're gonna go the Hulk Hogan look, huh?
Oh, Hulk Hogan, Gallagher, dude. I'm gonna look. I'll look fucking
shit.
nuts.
Fuck yeah.
Wild was that Bobcat? He gets kind of the wild longer hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been shaving my hair since '99. Like as soon as this thing started to appear, and I was in high school, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, it started in high school.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah. I had a buddy that happened too.
I was like, it's gone. Just saved my head ever since.
It's basically, it's a sad fucking
Probably
day.
the best
It
move.
is.
In high school, you know,
Yeah.
to go out that young,
It was pretty bad.
for your life to be over at that age.
It was
Definitely a genetic thing.
No, and I'm only saying something because I'm jealous, man. You get the nice hair.
Dude, I know. Listen, man, I that's what I've done. Being 41 and then having good hair or long hair, definitely people my age that are losing their hair, have lost their hair. I can tell. Like they fucking despise it.
Bro,
Like I'll even like I have buddies that are like, yeah, nice hair. Yeah,
Right.
you're gonna cut that? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna cut forward. Like they want me to cut my hair and shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I live in the type of area where a lot of the guys are like, they want you with shortcut and stuff
Oh, yeah.
like that. Oh, no, I got my boys growing mullets right now.
Good.
Yeah.
They
I'm
got,
like,
the, they got the
Yeah.
haircut you always wanted. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
dude.
Don't do that
Oh,
to
yeah.
your kids.
Yeah, you gotta put
I'm
some
like-
beads in that.
I
Friggin' some twine.
I showed
shit.
Barrett some
Christmas
pictures.
ornament?
and he
No
was like-
feathers.
Yeah, feathers.
I showed him pictures. I was like, this is a mullet. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, sweet. One of them's got super curly hair.
And then when you're like when you're through with your training, we'll move it into a rat tail.
I did have one of those when
That's
I was
funny.
real little.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah, me too.
I love seeing those out in the wild.
Yeah.
You see them every once in a while.
I haven't
I'm like,
seen
yeah.
one in
I had one.
feels like
I saw a
5
gnarly
years.
one just a
Maybe
few months ago.
millennium.
Really?
ago.
A redhead
Shit.
kid too.
Really?
Yeah, he had a friggin' rat tail. It was braided. It was down his back. He's probably like 10.
So his hair was growing his whole life. to
Red
do that.
hair and shit.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
he had a mallet and an axe. Like a barbarian.
So,
That's kind of what I was picturing.
Oh.
Pretty much.
so Jason, you got a couple kids, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you're doing the thing. Like, what ages we working with?
So we have 8, 11, 15, 17, and then I have a 28 or 29.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, old enough that I can't remember anyone. And I know it's getting to 30, so I'm trying not to remember it.
Right, no, I get you. I completely get
You don't want to show your age?
Yeah, no, they let me know it all the time.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I got
my
older kids.
my 14-year-old busts my ass all the time. And for some reason I feel like I could still outrun him in a foot race, and then I try, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, I'm really competitive, so I take it really serious. If they try to, they know that they're going to be in for it because I'm really going to bring it, and then I'm going to be huffing and puffing, and
Right.
wishing that I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob suffers from similar problems. He tried having a foot race with the kid a couple months ago, and
Stop.
he
A
spent
couple months ago. That was a long time ago.
he spent
Well, not
Yeah,
a long time.
March.
That was March.
yeah, he was
Don't be
hurting
rude.
for a while too.
Things got a lot better since then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rob sobered up and lost 40 pounds, and
More than that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
over 50
wow.
now.
Wow.
Now
Gotta change
he's-
that. Got to change that shit up.
Rob he has an app on his iWatch that tracked his steps, and there was like a week the other day.
Well, actually, it's just my phone because
Was it your phone? Okay.
the watch was screwing up, and I'm pretty sure it's giving me. I don't know. I was thinking about. I'm pretty sure the shift in the pocket's giving me a little more steps, but it's still got to be.
there was like a week.
I don't know. It says 2627. It's probably like 2122.
There was
I don't know.
there was a week where he walked as much as he did the entire year prior.
Wow.
Oh, that was 2 days.
Oh,
well,
was it?
I mean, I was being facetious. Hold on.
But
So hold on.
I was like, I was saying, like,
All right,
so
yeah,
listen,
I had so
actually
many
never got
questions there, dude. I was
Shit.
like, you
that's
fucking
my
hospice?
sarcasm, guys. That's my sarcasm.
When did the toilet come into this?
dude.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You got to get up.
Dude
Oh.
was, yeah. I mean, he was at home though, and kind of
Yeah.
had in depression and was
Yeah.
eating
It was
shit. I mean, he
rough.
was going from his bedroom to the garage. Like that was his walk every day,
was rough.
8 times, and then maybe to the gas station. But yeah, dude, he's lost the gang of weight and
Not eating
Got-
6,000
take it-
calories, not drinking probably 600 grams of sugar a day.
yeah. I mean, he was
Figuring it out.
regained his life and getting ready to get back to work and all that. Here, it's
And then the studio came up, and then that kind of,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
So do you
distracted
feel
my
the
mind.
difference?
But I kept the sobriety going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
yeah. I mean, he sits here with us,
Hate
and
to
most
say
of the
it,
time we'll have a
baby
whiskey,
steps.
and he does.
Yeah.
baby steps.
That's the most important part,
Yeah.
Make progress.
Always
Sobriety.
trying to improve in whatever way you can.
Yeah, you have to.
Spent long enough in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there where just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna. You just get tired of having to maintain,
Oh yeah.
Between
Just kind of let
jobs,
it go, and
divorces,
then you
lives,
get,
it is
yeah,
what it
you
is.
get
Oh, yeah.
stuck in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't tell you that in high school.
No.
The teachers
They
should go,
skip
your
it.
life is gonna suck when you leave
Can
here.
you share
know
me
how
that?
hard
Can
it's
you
gonna
share
be?
that book?
Yeah.
No,
some
they
of-
just tell you how much of nobody you're gonna be. That's about like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to. What the
Dude.
fuck? Where's the inspiration?
Right, man. I'll do post prom sometimes, and I usually start off with all your dreams you have. None of them are gonna come true.
That's so true.
This is your introduction.
Figure it out.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah.
So, you was it 6 kids? Was it? Did it? What I
5.
missed? 5. Okay.
Yeah, 5.
That's
I got
that's crazy. And what was your youngest?
8.
8. All right. So you've been through some of these teenage years.
Yeah, and actually, I was just thinking about this the other day, that the difference between like my 28 or 29-year-old, which he's going to beat me up for not knowing which it is, but versus the kids now, it's such a night and day difference. It's not even remotely the same. Where I went through school and all the going to activities, doing all the things with the teachers, but it is literally so different that I often find myself like looking around going, I don't understand this. Like I feel like an alien, even though I've already done it once.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And when we were just talking a second ago about the internet and the social media, it feels like that it itself is a child that's growing up, and that we're growing up with it. And now we're finally getting enough time that's gone by that we have a reflection to realize that there's a maturity that comes with it that us as adults still don't even understand or have a finger pulse on. And trying to hold them accountable to it when we're the ones with the keys. I'm trying to figure that out, of it coming to a whole new spot that I never thought that I would.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Kids are hard, man.
Yeah, man, you do like. Yeah, I mean, my son just turned 12, and it's like I want to give him hormone blockers to stop his age, like to keep him from those teenage years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there was just certain times, like he's gonna be taller than me. He's really tall, and so he's on the cusp. Soon he will surpass me, and I let him know. I go, when you speak to me, when you're taller than me, you will kneel before me. Because I will not be looking up at you. And yeah, dude, it is. I just remember like when he was getting taller, like 8 or 9, and he would still like I'd need to carry him. I'd be like, this could be like the last time. Or this could go. It was almost there. And then I remember thinking that, and then like a year later or whatever, realizing that like now if I just picked him up, he'd be like his feet would be like 2 inches off the ground. It'd be really weird.
Yeah.
But I'd still do it. I should.
No.
Just carry him through Walmart.
Yeah. No.
My little boy.
Put him in the shopping cart.
The one with the car, where you can pretend he's.
Oh yeah.
No. I've been really with this baby that my 15-month-old. I've really been trying to absorb because it's my last. I've had the vasectomy, so it's my last one too. So I've been trying to absorb every little moment because I've realized with the 14-year-old how much I missed being on the road and just not playing the catches and things like that.
Yeah, dude, I was there, man. I mean, I had traveled a ton. I had to, and then because of COVID and I lost all my gigs for that year. That's what got me back into doing videography, video editing, and all that. And then I'm like, man, I don't want to be gone all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you're not a known name in stand-up, you got to be on the road every week.
Yeah.
and to make a good living. And it's like, man, I just don't want to. It's not about that.
Yeah. No, I can't stand to be away more than a day or two anymore. And
Yeah.
by day 3, I'm like teary eyed in the truck, ready to go home. And I miss my family when I'm gone. So
Yeah.
totally get it.
Yeah, dude, it's hard being a guy, like a dad, because you have to provide, you have to work your ass off.
Yeah, the
but
balance
then
of work.
Yeah, but you want to spend time with your, your kids, your wife, whatever it may be, and just to be able to have that time, or
Yep.
just when you're just so depleted, and then still making time to spend time with them.
Yeah.
It's a struggle
For sure.
because I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to hang out at home, build a treehouse.
There you go.
I'm like,
Build a tree.
I'm like 315 pounds, so I don't do tree houses well, but we do have a pretty good fort,
dude,
fort built into the woods.
I just did a treehouse adventure in Colorado
yeah.
with my dad and my son, and then I fell off of it.
Oh,
It was like
shit.
30 feet in the air, but you have a harness on.
Oh,
But I was just too confident. I was just like pretending I was playing cliffhanger, I was
Oh my
with the
god.
straps and shit, and then I just walked on this log because they all spin and do something different, and just went off and just ricocheted back and forth, cracked my rib.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then I had to pretend I was fine. There was like 2 12-year-old girls behind me. So I'm like ricocheting, my shin's bleeding, and then I just get up and I'm like,
Turn around, see
Yeah.
who's watching.
yeah, I'm like,
Oh, shit.
I was testing it for you guys to make sure it was safe. I don't want to step on it like this.
how high was that off the ground? I mean, like, are you falling on the ground or did you
Oh
fall
no,
on
well,
the?
like you're harnessed it in, but I mean, if
Right.
if you didn't
Oh,
have it,
because
it's
of the
over
harness,
30 feet.
because of the
yeah,
yank on it.
yeah, I grabbed it, and then they have cables and wires. So I'm just
How's
like,
your rib feel? The older you get, the
It's
longer
good
it takes.
now. It probably cracked because like when we moved out to where we live, I had a mini bobcat, and I brought it over to my father-in-law's to help, do some landscaping stuff, and I had it in a trailer that had like 4-foot walls, maybe a little higher, and when I turned it on, it was from the 70s, so the 2 handles just had to be like a little bit forward. Well, they got bumped, and that thing, 2,000 pounds, just smashed me against the wall
Oh,
and like crushed me.
so you
we're
wasn't
like,
even in it. You were out
yeah,
of it.
I was out of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
my fucking Ghost Rider was running that, and I was like, yeah, it pushed my shoulders together. I thought I broke my sternum. I couldn't breathe. They had to check me for like internal bleeding, and then just a broken rib.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got like just a couple minutes left here. So, Jason, thanks for coming in, dude. I actually want to hear you got 3 locations here in town.
I do.
You got the one on 84th there just off L Street.
Yeah, 84th and J.
All right. And then you guys have one on 102nd and Maple there, kind of behind the scooters.
Yep, 101st and Maple and the Maplewood.
And then you said, where was your other one?
In Florence, in the heart
Florence.
of Florence on North 30th Street, right by the Mormon Bridge.
There it is.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to having you be a part of the show here. We've been looking for a fun sponsor,
Yeah.
We're not exactly doctor's office material here, so
Right.
Far from it.
and like I said,
you had your chiropractor,
Yeah.
rep you.
yeah, but that was on a show that wasn't, that was
Oh, fair
Rodney.
enough.
We were being
Okay.
clean for that show,
Yeah, I gotcha.
They were
so
pretty clean today, actually.
it wasn't too bad. It's usually when Steve here that things get out of hand.
Yeah.
Half hour through the segment, it's party time.
Which real quick, shout out to Kim. We wish you the best on your battle with this cancer. Okay, the show loves you. We love Steve.
Definitely.
We hope for your recovery and everything rapidly. But yeah, man, we look forward to seeing you around, and you're welcome
Yeah.
to come sit
Thank
in
you.
anytime, and we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, this is awesome. Appreciate it.
Yep,
This is awesome. Yeah.
and Austin, thanks for making the drive and coming to
Yeah, man.
hang out. And
Next time you got to bring your suitcase.
Yeah, dude. I don't even know. I think that
You don't
my
have to
parents
bring one.
threw
I'll
that
just
away.
order some shit and make one.
yeah, Danny's car stereo guy. He's probably got 4 alarms upstairs.
Oh, fuck. There you go.
$200 install rate.
Right.
Yep. So, but yeah, thanks a lot for coming, fellas, and
Awesome.
Thank you.
we'll take ourselves upstairs and eat some meat and enjoy the rest of our day.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys.
He's got a good space here.